So let us try to create the table functions. So before I move on with the table functions, I just wanted to, organize few things, especially profit margin and total profits. So these are basically measure branching, right? I wanted to just move them into a different structure. Total profits is same I would call. I just moved them together. So now I wanted to create table functions. Okay. So before I move any measure, right, I need to create the table functions and then I can organize them well. Okay. So just minimize them. Now let me quickly create table function. Table function page first I will create. And then, so what I'm going to create here is, how do we create a table function? So you cannot directly go and write a table function like a new measure or something like that. Because if you remember, I told you using DAX, we can create three things. One is measure, the second one is calculated column, and the third one is tables, calculated tables. Okay. So in order to create a table, either you can go to your modeling and click on this new table, which says write a DAX expression to create a new table, right? This is one way, and can just do that by going to any of the tables so that you see, okay, right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create a subset of sales table. So I can go here in the table place and click on this new table as well. In the table view, click on this new table. Again, it will be creating me new table using table functions. Now you can see it says table functions. So I'm going to use the filter table function, filter example. Okay. Here I'm using filter example and I'm using filter as my function. When I use filter as a function, it gives me a syntax. Okay, it says pass me a table and then a filter expression. So it returns a table that has been filtered. So what I'm going to pass as a table, I'm going to pass sales as my table because I'm planning to come up with a subset of sales table. So I pass sales as a table and then filter expression is going to be, I wanted to filter based upon some value. So let's say I remember there was some order quantity, right? Order quantity. Yeah. So I say order quantity is always greater than 10. So we have order quantities 1 to 12, something like that, 1 to 15, I don't remember. So we can just say order quantity is always greater than 10 and close it. So now this will give me an output. Just look into this and look into the symbol, what it is giving me. Okay. It is giving me a table symbol itself, but it says calculated table. The symbol is a calculated table. And you can see a new table has come up. So this is the original sales table. This is a new table that we just created. The new table that we just created is having the order quantity, which is always greater than 10, right? You have 11 and 12. So if you go back to the original sales table, we have order quantity starting from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now what we have put a condition, set greater than 10. We only have 11 and 12 in the new table that we just created here. Okay. In fact, I can have another condition. I can add as many conditions as possible. Say I can say instead of one filter condition that we have written inside this filter table, I am going to add another condition by and. There's an ampersand, double ampersand will give you a condition like an and. So in order to add an additional condition, I'm going to separate that with a double ampersand, which will act like an and. I'll say quantity greater than 10 and I can say I can put another filter here where my channel is only distributor. Okay, you can say channel, sales channel is equal to distributor. Okay. I think I've written my spelling wrong. So that's why you don't see any data out there. Distributor spelling is this. If you click on enter, now you should be getting some data based upon only distributors, right? There are two conditions here. One is distributor, channel is distributor. You can see you only have distributor now. Earlier, if you look at the original table, go back to the original table. The original table has got wholesale, export, distributor. But here we have, sorry, filter example here, only distributor and order quantity greater than 10. Like that, you can put as many conditions as possible, right? You can also put additional condition based upon the warehouse code. Let's say I want only the warehouse code of FLR 025. And add another condition. Warehouse code is my any condition is equal to FLR 025. Now you will get a subset of data now. You can see the data is still filtered just for 64 rows now. So like that, you can create a table. This is a table that we have created. And the main utilization of this table, you can see that happening in a formula. So I'll give you another example. Okay. So I'm going to create a measure now. This was a table that we have created. Okay. Now I'm going to create a measure. Okay. I'm going to create a measure. This says new measure. I'll just create a new measure. So the new measure is about implementation of this table function. Let's say okay. I'm going to use a calculate function. So we'll understand calculate function bit later. So I'm going to use the calculate function now. So we'll go in depth of this calculate function bit later. So basically this calculate function expects me to write an expression where I wanted to put total sales. I'm saying calculate total sales based upon the same filter condition that we have written. So I'm going to use filter table, the same function just now we have written for the table function. We have written sales as my table, and we've written first condition of what? First condition is order quantity greater than 10, right? And then we have written and condition, and then we said, what was the other condition that we have written? We said, we got something called as, channel, right? Channel is equal to distributor. And then I'm saying another condition, I'm saying, warehouse code is equal to FLR025. Whatever we've just written over there, I've written the entire table filter here. So what is happening here is, I'm saying, boss, calculate this total sales on this subset of table. So I'm not even writing the entire sales table. I'm giving a filtered table as an input for my calculation. Okay. So the output of my measure, I'll just try to delete this. Okay. So I'm going to add maybe a date field instead of customer name, so that I know on this date, on the selected date range, I'm asking to create or okay. So maybe in this date range, we don't have that. Okay, let me expand the date range. Okay, now you can see. So in this date range, what I'm giving is, so I'm asking it to calculate a specific logic, right? I'm asking it to calculate me the total sales for this subset of table, which is quantity should be greater than 10. The channel should be a distributor channel. The warehouse code should be this warehouse code. So this conditioned table or this conditioned, the person should be, ordering quantity should be greater than 10, and it should be from this channel called distributor and then particular warehouse code. So that sales happened only during 2023, right? 2021 and 2022, we didn't have that kind of sales. So maybe that's why we were not getting in the earlier filter, right? So now you can see that's how we can narrow down, and right now this table filter is doing that shorter table on the cloud in the memory, passing the subset of table to the calculate table calculate function, and it's then calculating me the total sales. So instead of we writing as a separate table here, right? Unless or until it is required you as a separate table, we could actually pass this table on the calculation itself and get our job done, like we just did, right? So here we have created that job directly here. Okay. So if you want that to be done on the cloud, you can use it here. If you want it separately, yes, you can create a separate table here, which is sitting as a physical table. But if you wanted to use as a part of another calculation where you wanted to use the subset of table, this is how we use the filter table function.